Hi everyone and welcome to my place. I have had many requests from all of you out there wanting to know if I could do more designs using artificial forms. Well, this is what we're going to do today, and this is for you, Melanie. You wanted something that was round and low, that would sit on a dining table as a fixture that you could add fresh flowers to as and when you needed it, so you wanted the base. Well, this is what I've come up with. I hope that this is of assistance. Give me a few minutes, I'll get all the materials together and I'll show you how easy it is to put this together. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we go, let's get into this. Now you could fill the cavity of your urn with foam. It would probably take 3, maybe 5 blocks to fill this. The other thing that I find is that because it's rounded up like it is here, what actually happens is it's hard to keep the foam all in one position because it keeps moving. So what I do is I just get a terracotta pot like this. It's really heavy and weighty, and I've put 2 blocks into here and then just used a bit of Oasis tape to just tape it across there to make sure that it is strong and sturdy, and give it a wee shake, and if it doesn't move then you know you're right. Right, that goes into there like that, and I'll use the staghorn first, and what I'll do with that is I'll push a piece into there and a piece over the other side. Remember, exactly the same principles as in the fundamentals that I've already discussed. Okay, a piece over to there, a piece over to there, one bit over to there, and then we'll bring a bit into there. And you'll notice that I'm bending it down because this is going to be a round, sort of loose and formal type of arrangement. The container isn't just all the design, so by bringing down some of your forms like that, you just break and diffuse that line through there. Right, the next thing I want to do is to put in a few leaves and do the same with that as well. So I'll put one into there, then bring this over to there, put that in. Now you'll notice that most of my forms are all sort of round about the same length, and I cut those before I started so that I didn't have to stop and start, which I think is a really great way of moving forward. Right, I'll put that there, and then I'm going to bring another one into there. Oh, this foam is so hard. Now, it is a little bit unbalanced because I've got those there and I've only got one over this side, but don't worry about that because the next thing I'm going to put in is going to be this Dusty Miller. Now, exactly the same process. What I'll do this side now is I'll put in more pieces than I've done on this side to sort of visually balance that up. So that can just be pushed into there. You know, sometimes the foam is really easy to work with and other times it's like really difficult. Have you discovered that? I don't know whether it's old or just what that story is. Right, bring another bit into there. So I've sort of visually balanced that out, if you get my drift. Right, I've got a few bits over this side, so I'm going to bring a few bits into there. And what I'm also doing is I'm slowly, now I don't think we want that bit in there, slowly just stepping the forms in to the centre at sort of like 1-inch increments or whichever suits. Okay, so we'll put another few bits over there just to sort of balance this out. So working from the outside into the centre. The next forms I want to use are the kale, and I'm just going to push those into there. Now I've got 5 of these, so I'll evenly distribute those in and amongst this foliage. One there, we'll bring one over to there, and as I'm placing them, I'm getting some a bit higher and a bit lower. Right, yes, I'm happy with that. Now the thing that I'm not happy about though is that those 2 forms are on the same plane length, plane level, so just tilt those so that they go down. That's better. So that each thing you can actually see. Right, with the orchids, these can just go up into the centre here, and I'm just looking for the little spaces where I can insert these. Some going up, some going down. And if it wants to move that way, at this stage, just leave it. One more into there, and then I'll bring one into that little space there. Right, now with the magnolias, and I've got 2 bits of that left. That thank goodness I've got those. Okay, with the magnolias, what I've done is I've cut those. The other reason I wanted to use these is to tell you that if you've got fresh, you could omit using the artificial and you could put fresh into it. And when I incorporate forms like that, what I do is I get little wee glass vials and I just push those in and amongst it. The other thing is with the dark brown here of the bark or the stem of the magnolia actually is reflecting back through into the container. So that's going to bring and diffuse that big heavy colour there down and bring everything back into the centre. Right, these can just be poked in and amongst. Right, I've got a couple of bits of these left and I've got quite a few holes. So I'll just bring those down into there. Where's that other bit there? And you'll notice that you will be noticing that there's lots of gaps, but don't you worry about those gaps because I will fill those in. Right, with these little forms here, just open those out and then where you can see spaces, just push those into there like so. And I've wired these again. I'll bring another piece up into there. That can go into there, and I've only got 3 of those, that round to there, and I've got a big hole down to there. So just, it's great working with artificial forms. You can just move and manipulate those to be in whichever way you want. So there we go, there we have it, easy, easy, easy. Loose, informal, round arrangement. It's not perfect, but that's okay because I used the word loose and informal. You can now put fresh flowers into there if you want to. You can have as a standalone design to just have on hand. That's because that's what I do a lot of the time. I make lots and lots of artificial arrangements and I'll bring them out as I need and as the seasons come and go and just add fresh or artificial or whatever else I need to develop and move on or build and expand on this design. And you'll notice that for the first time in a long time I didn't cut anything, and I think that that's great because I can, if I choose, this time in a year's time to change them I can. If they get dirty, here's a wee tip, just take them outside, get a big bucket, put some soapy water into it, put your flowers into it, give it a good shake, then flick off the suds and then just give them another rinse out with some clean water and then just leave them in the sun or give them a shake until they're dry. Hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed making that for you and I hope that I have been of assistance to someone out there. See you again another day.